Well, guys, it's happening. I told you this was going to happen a few weeks back. WWE is bleeding cash right now because of this coronavirus crap. You can't sit around and not produce live shows and not have touring money and merchandise coming in and have these ridiculous bloated contracts. Well, they're not all ridiculous, but some of them are. They can't sustain their current path. And today, well, over the last week, we know the XFL has been canceled and they filed for bankruptcy. They said they are not coming back, even though some people are holding hope. But today there was a massive release of wrestlers, and I guarantee you this will not be the end of it. There will be probably days of wrestlers being released. Some names I'm scratching my head at, but others, I mean, it's not too shocking. We already know the Revival was released earlier in this week, and if they weren't, they probably would have been a part of this dump. So, because they were let go or released, they're not exactly fired. I'm sure they're hoping and hanging all hopes that they're still going to get signed by AEW, and maybe this could be why WWE released some of these names, because some of these names are names that have been teased with AEW in the past and even recently. The releases are so far, including the Revival, are Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, Drake Maverick, Heath Slater, Eric Young, EC3, Kurt Hawkins, Leo Rush. There's going to be an overall head count of employees. I'm sure that means crew and office workers, backstage, whatever, agents. And there are going to be basically mass firings of those people as well. The WWE is talking about furloughing employees, and I'm sure a lot of that would be like road crew and things like that, because at some point we're all assuming we're going back to normal, and they would need these people again. They're delaying the move from Titan Towers to wherever they were moving in Stamford for at least 6 months or more. They're reducing pay of staff and talent who are still signed. So, you know, Randy Orton and your $6 million contract is probably not going to be anymore. They're cutting talent expenses, which I don't know exactly what that would be other than like catering, and they don't buy their hotel rooms. I guess they buy airfare, but I mean, how do you do that? I don't know what else their expenses would be. Maybe that's medical. Third-party consulting, meaning like they used to, I don't know if they still do. They had Vince Russo, not under contract, but consulting and writing scripts and things like that. So a lot of that will be gone. Like I said, who is a third-party consultant really at this point? With all their cutbacks, they are boasting they will save $4 million monthly. They claim to have $500 million in reserve, which would say, how much could all these people cost to keep them on? But I mean, some of these guys, Eric Young has been buried. Once they broke up Sanity, that was it. He was over. EC3 was buried the second he hit the main roster, even though he was uber popular in NXT. Kurt Hawkins is just a journeyman jobber. Heath Slater, same. Leo Rush, I scratch my head at a little bit because he's new to the company. After his NXT or his 205 Live Cruiserweight run, I mean, I thought he was getting a second chance with the company, but I don't watch 205 Live, so I'm sure he was active there, but he was never seen on NXT again. Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, well, maybe this is a good thing for them. Will they get signed to what they were probably offered a year ago by AEW? No, probably not. But they'll probably get signed. And EC3 will probably get signed there too, if any of that teasing with Jericho about a month or so ago was legit. I do feel bad for Drake Maverick. He just stepped down from 205 Live president or whatever, to enter himself into the Cruiserweight tournament. He wanted to go back to wrestling. Kurt Hawkins and Heath Slater, they're very big on their social media for WWE, so that'll be the end of well, maybe not, but I don't know if riders and his thing are tied to the WWE, or is that something they do on their own? I can't think of the name of their show. I watch it all the damn time. But if I'm Zack Ryder, I think I'm a little scared right now, because what does he have going for him? He was in a partnership with Kurt Hawkins, which is no more. I mean, Ryder is a little bit more popular than Kurt Hawkins, but I mean, he's in the same boat. I am shocked there aren't some other names on here. I've said it before, like Tamina, now I can't think of his name. Titus O'Neil. I mean, there's a plethora of dudes who have the colognes. There's just so many people who still have jobs that haven't been used in years, and they're still under contract. Like I said, there's more coming. There's more firings coming. There's no way an HELL that there isn't any more on their way. But this is what happens when you don't work. People, we have to go back to work. I've preached it in my videos. The hysteria doesn't match up any of the threats of death and the models that have been projected to us. It's just not there. They're not even matching up to seasonal flu stats, and we're destroying total industry in this country over the sniffles. And I'm pretty sure I had it in January. It wasn't that bad. I'm not old. I'm not young either, though, and I didn't suffer any. I mean, people just need to get it, and their bodies need to start creating the antibodies, or they need to stockpile the malaria pills, and we need to move on. I mean, at this rate, we're not going to be able to retire when we're old. We're just going to work till we die because our 401ks are stripped. We're living, or they're stripped because people are surviving off them. Most people, the lucky ones. By the end of April, 5 more million people in Florida are going to be unemployed. I mean, we have to. They're like, we're opening up the country slowly. No, it has to open back up. I know they're being whatever iffy, but we're being iffy over nothing at this point. Nothing's happening. Yes, some people with tons of pre-existing conditions are dying because they caught coronavirus, supposedly. A lot of the labeled coronavirus deaths had nothing to do with coronavirus, but they're labeled, lumped in with coronavirus deaths. I mean, the example, the guy that just died who sang Lean on Me, he was 70-something years old. They labeled him a coronavirus death. His family came out and said, no, he wasn't. He died of heart failure. Thank you. Take that off of his whatever. I mean, there's a million of it. There's like, oh, this baby that died. They're like, he died of coronavirus. No, he died at home in a home accident. And they threw coronavirus on there. So I can guarantee you half of our numbers aren't even legit that they have right now for coronavirus deaths. But this is what's happening. WWE stock has fallen by 60%. They're hanging on by a thread. They're bleeding money. I'm sure Vince and Trump have talked greatly, and yes, WWE became an essential business here in Florida so they can go back to live taping shows. They need to. They have to survive. You're going to lose $1 billion industry because some people are getting sick? I mean, I'm shocked there aren't firing people from the NBA and NFL and all that stuff too. They're going through with much higher contracts than WWE, and the WWE is $1 billion industry. So, I mean, that's the hammer that was dropped today, and I'm sure we're probably going to get, like I said, I don't know if it'll be more today, but you never know. But, I mean, what is that? 11 firings this week of talent. They already said an overall head count of employees will be taken and cuts will be made. They have hundreds of staff, road crew, cameraman, all that stuff. I guarantee you 75% of them are gone on furlough. So I just wanted to get that out, guys. That's what's happened. It just dropped. It's hitting the news wires. I told you weeks ago, WWE's bleeding cash, and it shouldn't be shocking. Like I said, more will come. When I hear about it, I will let you know. But like I said, maybe this is a good thing for Gallows and Anderson, NEC3. God, I hope Anderson and Gallows don't go back to New Japan. I think they would go to AEW. So there might be a horizon for some of these guys. Maybe Eric Young goes back to Impact. Maybe Leo Rush goes back to our Ring of Honor. I mean, they are paying more money now. But, I mean, Hawkins and Slater, I don't know what's going to happen to them. I don't know. But anyways, guys, I'm not going to keep ranting. That's what's happened. People are gone. contracts are ending. So let me know what you think. Are you shocked by any of this? Like I said, I'm not. Everybody knew it was coming. So that is it for now, guys. Tonight is AEW. I don't know if I'm going to make a video on top of this video. I didn't forget to make one last week. I just wasn't home. So I haven't heard high things about it anyway. I heard, because if you have noticed, Being the Elite is filming from Nick Jackson's home. They're making their own side episodes of Being the Elite, and they're not supposedly at the last of these tapings that they did. So it's going to be the lower end guys, which doesn't mean the show is going to stink. It just means if you're dying to see the Young Bucks, or they didn't say Kenny Omega or Cody won't be there, but they said like MJF, but MJF hasn't been in any of these shows. So I don't know how it's going to be perceived tonight for AEW and NXT. So anyways, that is it for now. If I make one of these videos, I'm going to make it right now. I mean, I guess I don't have anything else to do. So that's it, guys. Hit like, subscribe, leave a comment, all that stuff. More firings to come, mark my words. Mad Viking out. Catch you in the next one.